Alright lads, so on the 27th we are going to be receiving a pretty big update to the future of Guild Quest, and these changes right here are quite drastic in my opinion, I'm not going to lie. And I do want you lads to let me know in the comments below before we even do get into the video, what do you think about these changes? Because from what I'm seeing from the community, no one really likes this. In my opinion, I'm actually excited for it. I like the changes, but I can already see from the get-go that I appear to be in the minority. So, you know, let me know what you lads think about it. But all these changes that we are talking about in today's video will be coming out on the 27th at 9 PM GMT. So that means in, 2 weeks time is when we are going to get this update. Which, because this is coming out on the 27th, that would therefore mean the update for the editing brushes, for example, should be coming out around the 25th, 24th. We already expected that anyway. That's normally when the updates do drop, but just for those that are wondering, it should be out in, less than 2 weeks time. That said though, let's talk about all the changes coming to Guild Quest on the 27th. So the first big change is the editing function improvements. So you'll be able to make a separate team for each difficulty level of Guild Quest, hopefully in advance. That would actually be very cool if we can set teams in advance and not have to wait for them to appear. But either way, for those that do play Guild Quest every single week, by let's say in 7 weeks time when we do a full rotation, all your teams will be saved, and by the next time that Guild Quest reappears as the rules for that particular week, you can just press the button, recall your last team, and boom, you can use that there. This is a very nice quality update, which I definitely do appreciate. This is something that I didn't really need in my opinion. I didn't really mind changing my teams all too much, but not saying I didn't want it. I do want it. It's definitely better to have it, but it wasn't that big of a deal for me. But I can definitely appreciate this update, and it's going to be even better because the rules are changing more often than not. Before, in the old schedule, it was once a week. Now it's appearing to be 2 times a week, so it means you're going to have to change your team more often than not compared to the old schedule. So having a button like this just to recall your last team is going to be even better. So pretty nice change already. I don't think anyone's going to be complaining about that. The next big change is kind of something that we memed about, and it's actually happening, which is kind of crazy to see, I'm not gonna lie. So, quest adjustments. We plan to add more quests where characters with Quincy Killer, Stamritter Killer, Squad Zero Killer, and Human Killer can play a more active role. This was kind of shocking to me, honestly. Now, Human and Quincy Killer, I can see it. They've been slowly adding more characters with that killer lately within the last, 6 or so months. We've had a lot of Quincy killers, and this upcoming mid-month banner also features a human killer character. But seeing Stamritter and Squad Zero is kind of shocking because there's not that many characters in the game right now that have Squad Zero Killer and Stamritter Killer. So that's kind of crazy to think about. And I do want to say maybe this could hint at of potential more manga characters coming out into the game, more Fowls and New characters. That's pretty much given to happen this year, in my opinion. But we have seen with Stark, for example. Stark was a premium character that never even met a Squad Zero character and somehow had a Squad Zero Killer. So killers don't really make sense anymore, but we're probably going to see more premium characters and, future characters coming out in the next year or so come with more of these limited killers, Squad Zero, Human, Stamritter, and Quincy, which is something that I don't know how I feel about it just yet. For the current state of the game, though, I do like that they're potentially adding guild quests for these particular killers, because it really depends on how you look at it. I know a lot of players saw this and say like, ugh, I now have to summon for more of these characters that have Human, Quincy Killer, and stuff like that. For me, as someone that does have most of the characters, and I am coming at a person with, not privilege, but someone that, spends money in the game, for example, the way I saw it is, oh, that's cool, I can actually now use my characters that have Quincy Killer, Squad Zero Killer, Human Killer. Characters that I never ever use, I can now use because they're going to be used from guild quests. Just to give a quick example, Tatsuki is a pretty good NAD character. She's free. You can get her from Senkamon. She has Human Killer. She has a boost. So she's going to be very good for the Human Killer guild quest. I'm actually kind of excited for that. Arskin is a character I haven't used in a very long time outside of the occasional PvP teams or in Brave battles. Now that he's going to potentially be useful in guild quests, I'm kind of excited for that. But that really depends on if you have these characters. So again, it really depends on your mindset if you think this is a good or a bad thing that they're adding more killers. For me, it means I can just use more of the characters that I never really had to use before. I know some of us don't really want to use characters like the Human Killer Retsu or the, Christmas Soifon, but she's been sitting in my box doing nothing, and now with this change, I can finally have a use for her. So I kind of like how they've added these guild quests. It now means in the future we might get more characters with these killers, finally making a better balance for these killers, because obviously I think all of us are aware there's been a massive imbalance in terms of how good a killer can be. The main three, sorry, but Aaroniero and Hollow have always been like the best ones. No affiliation has started to become a lot more common lately, so it's not really bad to have no affiliation killer. But these killers, Quincy, Stamritter, mainly Quincy and Human, they've been kind of bad. because there's not really been a use for those characters. So if you ever have a favorite character that gets that killer, you really limited on what you can use them in. But now with this particular change, you can now at least use them in Guild Quest. So I kind of like that, but I can see why a lot of people might not like that change. And we'll talk about this more so in a minute when they do actually show the schedule. The next change is going to be the reward adjustments. Along with these changes to quests, the rewards attainable for playing them will be adjusted. Changes to rewards will take effect in the Guild Quest starting from the 27th. The treasure boxes at the end of every week will also see a change. So what we're seeing here is the reward you get by clearing ways and the reward you get at the end of the week are also getting changed. Now, hopefully, this can be for the best. Hopefully, this is going to be a good change. We have no idea what they're going to do. My hope is for them to take out some of the trash rewards, keep the orbs in, and maybe add super links or potions. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, overall, I think this could potentially be a good change or a bad change. Knowing Caleb, it might not be too good. They might just dilute the pool with more trash stuff, but I'm only hoping for the best here. If in any how or way it increases the chance of us to get orbs from the weekly rewards, then it's going to be a positive change. But this has yet to be seen if it's going to be a good or a bad change, but hopefully it can be for the best. And last but not least, we have the schedule adjustments. So right now in the current Guild Quest, we have 1 Guild Quest per week. With this new change, it's going to be 2 Guild Quests per week. So as you can see here, Guild Quests will be updated twice per week. One at Monday at 6 PM JST, and one at Friday at 12 AM JST. So this pretty much means that for 4 or 5 days, you're going to be doing the Sorba Guild Quest, and then I think the next 2 or 3 days, basically the weekend, you're going to be doing the Hollow Guild Quest. So this is just to make it so it goes through the rotation a tad bit faster, especially because they added a lot of new Guild Quests. There's now 13 instead of 9, and that's the second biggest change that you're going to see from this. Now, more specifically, Captain, Espada, and no affiliation weeks of Guild Quest are now split. No longer are they just, you can bring both melee and ranged characters. Now you have to bring either a melee character or a ranged character. That's the biggest change that you're going to see from this particular schedule, because this could potentially destroy your teams. Now you have to think about using other characters, because one might be melee based, one might be melee. For example, my go-to every time in the Espada week, the one that's going on right now, I always bring Rukia. However, when there's range damage bonus and no longer melee damage bonus, I'm probably going to just bring Apache now because she's a range character. Although, do keep in mind, you can still bring melee characters because there isn't any resistances. It's just more encouraged for you to now bring a ranged character or a melee character depending on the week that you're doing. So, for example, on Captain Week, sure, you can bring melee characters. That's not a problem. However, understand is that it is range damage boost ×2. So keep that in mind. So that's definitely the biggest change you're going to see here with the scheduling. And I can see why they definitely did it. Because obviously back when they first introduced Captain Killer Guild Quests, Espada Killer Guild Quest, and also No Affiliation Guild Quests, the reason why you could bring both melee and range characters is because the characters with those particular killers, there wasn't that many. Unlike Hollow, Soripa, and Aranka, they can, limit those to you bringing only a melee character or range character because there's a lot of options. Captain, Espada, and No Affiliation didn't have those options. Now, they have those options, and that's why you're seeing them split it up. Espada Killer is still a bit stiffy, in my opinion. Ranged Espada Killer is going to be a kind of a yikes, in my opinion. I'll definitely be able to beat it, and the new Abirama is definitely going to be pushed for you to use him in the ranged Espada week. He now got significantly better with this change, which obviously you can see why Caleb are doing this. They want you to summon for these new characters, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, because if you're not summoning for new characters, then what are you summoning for, right? They want you to use these new characters. I don't think this is necessarily going to get you to summon for these particular characters. Like Abirama, I'm not going to summon for him, but if I get him, I'm definitely going to appreciate using him for that particular Guild Quest week. And then what we can see here is that the final Guild Quest 13, now has Quincy, Sternritter, Squad Zero, and Human. I have no idea how that's going to play out. There's no way all 5 of them are going to be in one Guild Quest. That just doesn't make sense, because of course, when it comes to Guild Quest, you want to have Killer. And Killer, you get like a 5 times damage buff. In this case, what I feel like they're doing here is they're going to rotate it. So when we first get to Guild Quest 13, we're going to have Quincy Killer only, just Quincy enemies, right? And then, 13 Guild Quests later, so let's say 7 weeks later, when we get Guild Quest 13 again, it's then going to be Sternritter. And then, again, 13 Guild Quests later, it's going to be Squad Zero Killer. So I think that's how they're going to do it. And this is definitely the one that's like a yikes, because There's not that many, you know, Quincy killers, Sternritter killers. We already went over this. It's going to be the biggest struggle. I know a lot of people are pissed at this. For me, I don't really mind it. If I can't beat it, I can't beat it. It's fine. You know, I'll beat it eventually. What we do see with KLab is that they do eventually release these Guild Quest characters designed for this particular game mode that make it easier for you. And that's not really a bad thing in my opinion, because a 5 out of 5 Hiyori, for example, does less damage than a 1 out of 5 Sergeant. And, you know, depending how you look at that, again, you might be like, oh, they're pushing me to summon for Sergeant. But at the same time, for those that maybe just getting into Guild Quest, instead of trying to go for Hiyori at 5-5 or an old character at 5-5, all they have to do is just pull a 1 out of 5 Sergeant, and boom, it's going to see a massive increase on their team. If you can't beat these particular Guild Quests right now, don't stress about it. You'll do it eventually, right? This isn't going anywhere. This is something you can work towards. That's what I actually kind of appreciate with stuff like this, is that when something is kind of hard by limiting you, that's how KLab do difficult in this game. It's kind of hard to make BBS difficult in my opinion, but this is one of the ways of doing it, by limiting what character you can use. And if I can't beat it now, then I'm sure next time it comes back, I'll get better. When No Affiliation Guild Quest first came out, I couldn't beat it, but eventually I got lucky with my summons. I pulled for the new character, White Ichigo for example, and I was able to beat it. So, you know, if you can't beat it now, don't stress about it. You can always do it later. Anyway, that was the video for today, lads, breaking down the new Guild Quest change that again will be coming out on the 27th. Let me know what you lads think about this. Again, for me, I don't mind these changes. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but again, I see a lot of people complain about it, and I can understand why you might be complaining about it. We will make another video going over the complete changes on the 27th when it does happen, more so regarding the rewards. Hopefully they do get better. If they do, this is definitely going to be a positive change. If not, then yeah, a bit of a yikes. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Peace.